I think most of us over the last few days, honestly, despite everything we know, thought they couldn't do this again. They couldn't do it again. The massacre, the savagery, the mass murder, the barbarism, the genocide. How could any sentient human being, after what we have witnessed over the last 5 or 6 weeks, consider starting it again? And I think this should be a moment of truth for people who have lied to us, or who are lying to themselves, that this, a state that is capable of doing this, is a psychopath. A state that is capable of doing this is a criminal. It is a barbarian. It is a mass murderer. And to talk of peace, you can only make peace with human beings, with people who have some humanity. You cannot make peace with a psychopath, with a mass murderer, with a savage. And that is what the state of Israel is. But the people who've allowed this to happen have blood on their hands. Every single one of them. Blinken went to Israel in the last couple of days and he gave the green light to these psychopaths to restart the genocide. It is absolutely as clear as day. The United States gave the green light because, as Zeal said, Israel is the United States. Israel is the monster created by the United States and Britain before them. They are capable of any atrocity, any savagery. And surely we should have known that from the Iraq War. For those who don't remember, they did it in Iraq, a pack of lies about weapons of mass destruction, and they massacred 1 million people. And now they're willing to do it again. And all of those European governments who stood with Netanyahu, who continue to give them money, continue to give them weapons, continue to treat them as a normal state, they all have the blood of Palestinians on their hands. And then there's our government. Then too, how shameful is it that Micheál Martin went to Israel and paraded around with Netanyahu and these mass murderers? It is utterly, utterly shameful. So they also have given the green light because people here protested. After a few weeks, they were just about able to spit out the word ceasefire, but only because you forced them. But words are meaningless when you then go over and parade around with Netanyahu and these mass murderers and confer legitimacy on a state that is capable of genocide. They too, our government, are complicit with all of this. With all of it. And their talk of two-state solutions. What a load of nonsense. What a con trick that is. Because that's also about legitimising a state that was built and based on ethnic cleansing, on terrorism, on occupation, on the day-in, day-out murder of Palestinians, of the criminal siege of Gaza for 16 years. The only thing you can do with a state like this is resist it and bring it down. And this is what We have to get across. Just as with apartheid South Africa, you don't negotiate with apartheid. You don't say, there's a little bit of apartheid we can have over here. We brought it down. Yeah. The black South African people resisted. They were right to resist. They were justified in that resistance. And eventually the world woke up and rose with the people of South Africa and dismantled that filthy, racist regime. And that is what has to happen with the filthy, apartheid, racist, colonial settler regime that is Israel. Yes. We have to do what they did in South Africa. We have to do what they did in Vietnam. We have to do what they did in Algeria. We have to do what we had to do here in Ireland. Yes. Resist them. So we must not rest, because they are capable of any level of atrocity, but they can be stopped. And this is the important point. They want to normalise this horror. They want to induce despair in those who are horrified at this. That's what they're trying to do. And their friends on the far right are trying to do it too. And we've seen that. This is where it comes home. Because the same people who tried to exploit a horrific, terrible incident to whip up racism and fear and division and wreck our city were the same people who are cheerleading Israel's massacre in Gaza. Yep. You know, there's a song, the Manic Street Preachers, if you can tolerate this, your children will be next. And what we saw in Dublin last week is an alarm bell of that fact. These psychopaths are being let off the leash. And because Western governments, our government, the European Union, tolerate this, it's coming back home. And their government. So it is in all of our interests to stand together, not just to stop the horror being visited on the Palestinians, because if they can do it to the Palestinians, they can and will do it to any of us. So this is a fight for humanity. This is a fight for humanity, for a civilized world against barbarians and psychopaths who care only about power and money and are willing to sacrifice their humanity for those things. So we've got to rise up. The only answer to this is Intifada. Revolution, as Asiel said, the collective revolution of humanity to take our society back for humanity. Yes. So, we braved the protest today. Some were scared to come out of here because of what happened last week. We have to give them the confidence to come back out again.